Um, One of the things that, a great thing that helps you is working with your voice, is impressions are good because they give you something tangible to go after. And it also teaches you where the person that you're impersonating, where their voice naturally sits. And you start to learn about your voice box and how it works and what you have to do to get certain sounds. And you'll also start to notice that when you do impersonations and you copy somebody else's form of speech, that they have certain cadences and they have little idiosyncrasies that they have with their form of speech. You know, do they kind of go up, speak when they talk? When they come, or do they like always kind of go down when they come on stuff? Are they really fast talkers and really kind of rapid when they talk? Or do they kind of, you know, just kind of mumble through stuff? But it's all attitude, right? It's the kind of energy that the person possesses, which is driving the voice. And those are the kind of things that you want to start listening to. Because each time you do that, because people will say to voice actors, you know, well, how many voices can you do? And it's, I don't know, because it's not about voices, it's about characters. So when you look at it from that perspective, you kind of think, well, it's kind of, I mean, yeah, you're governed by the amount of range that you have as an individual, but the number of characters that you could probably play within your range is pretty well endless. Because you just kind of assume that energy and take on that person, and away you go. So I would say, probably the first thing is acting is, taking any type of acting class is going to be a huge benefit to anybody. That's what you want to do. The next thing, of course, is, you know, when you're looking for work, geography is a big issue, because you've got to be where the work is. And you've probably heard other people say that before too. But I mean, yes, I mean, for sure, in Salt Lake City or surrounding areas, there's radio stations, things like that. So there's commercials and things like that to go out for. I don't know if there's any gaming companies out here, but they may be like video gaming companies that you could audition for as well. And the gaming industry is changing just vastly. Just I was talking about it earlier, just with the new format of high definition coming into game playing, they're able to put so much more on a disc now. And what used to be cinematic play is now gameplay. And so voice actors have a more important role in video games than they ever had before, because you're actually acting out scenes, and the characters in the game are becoming realer. Bad word, sorry, but they're not just these little kind of sort of point and shoot characters anymore. They just go and do this kind of stuff when they get hit and do all these things. I mean, like, they actually talking and having conversations with other characters within the game now. So acting, when it comes to the games, really becomes critical, because a lot of times the games that are being made are properties such as like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, things like that. And a lot of times people like Ian McClellan and people like that, they're in the game and they're voicing as well. So you've got to match. Like, your acting chops have got to be up there, because you're not performing in the studio with them, but certainly your character's going to be performing alongside them in the game. So acting is really paramount when it comes to working in the voice industry, for sure. And there's lots of different avenues to look at. The wonderful thing about voice acting is it's not just animation, it's not just prelay and ADR. And ADR is an acronym for automated dialogue replacement. And that's when something exists in another language other than English and is being dubbed into English. So that's what's referred to as ADR. And that's for live action as well as animation. But on top of that, you've got the commercial market for radio and television. You've got the gaming industry. You've got narration for radio and television. You've got station IDs, which is like, you're listening to KY, KFM, blah, 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 blah. You got all that kind of stuff. You got those things. There's narration for books. So the umbrella for a voice actor is really, it encompasses a lot of different areas, a lot of different facets of the film and television industry. So you can keep yourself pretty busy as a voice actor, which is nice. The other wonderful thing about voice acting too is when it comes to casting, it's not one of those deals when you walk in the room and they look at you right away and they go, nope, they've made a decision already. You know, it's like, that's great. You didn't look right, now no, everybody's tuned you out while you're doing your performance that you worked so hard on the day before. But with this, age and how you look is not important at all. It's, if you sound like you're 86 years old but you're 25, doesn't matter, you can get hired. So that's a wonderful thing about this industry, basically, is as long as you've got the chops and as long as you can keep performing and doing the job that you do, basically, the sky's the limit as far as, you know, you call it when you want to retire. There's a lot of people that have been in the industry for a long time, you know, still working and making a lot of money in this industry. So from that perspective, it's very lucrative, and it's a great place to be from an actor's perspective for sure. Any questions so far? Anybody? Am I boring you to tears yet? None. Yes.
What kind of places would you go to do things like book narration?
To find an agent? Is that what you said?
No, to do narration.
Book narration.
Oh, to book narration? Actually, it's funny because Europe is huge with audiobooks. North America, I mean, yeah, you see them out here, but they're not as popular as they are in Europe. A lot of people that tend to buy the audiobooks here are more of a niche market in the United States, where it appeals to a broader market. In Europe, a lot of people just like audiobooks. They listen to them in the car as a form of entertainment. People who used to still like the old form of listening to radio shows and things like that is still very popular there. So you'll find, actually, if you look around in the UK, or look at places like Germany, France, look at any of those kind of sites there and look under audiobooks, you'll find that there's a lot of different companies, and they do accept submissions from actors. Like if you have a home studio, you can perform the work from your home. And that's one of the things too about the industry that's changing a lot as well, is that more and more people are getting home studio setups. And it's becoming a lot more economical for people to be able to do that. You can now put a studio in your home for under $1,000 and it'd be broadcast quality. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Right now, DigiDesign creates a system called MBox, which interfaces with PC or Mac. And they started around about $345, and the $345 model actually has got everything that you could possibly need. It's basically a light version of Pro Tools. You can get a really great mic. Apex makes one called the 460, which is around about $200, like 200 or 300 bucks. And if you've got a PC or a Mac, you're set up and ready to go. The only thing that you have to do now is just set up the microphone in an area where you're not going to get lots of bounce and things like that, where you've got a fairly dead area to record in, and away you go. But a lot of media companies now are using people from their home studios. You can look on the internet. There's like places like Voices 123 and things like that, where they actually, where if you sign up with somebody like that, they'll promote your demo reel on their site, and you'll be sent audition material to your home on the internet. And basically you just print off the script, take it into the studio, and submit your audition. And away you go. So, I mean, you could be making money from your very own home, but you really could. It's that's the wonderful thing about the business, is a lot of companies are realizing now that people have great gear in their home, and it's a lot cheaper for them to work that way rather than paying huge studio costs unnecessarily, when you can book the talent direct, and they have a studio in their home, and basically all they're doing is just paying you the talent fee as opposed to paying studio rates on top of everything else. So yeah, it can be done. Reels, promotional reels, your demo reel is hugely important. It needs to be 2 minutes or less. Your animation reel as well as your commercial reel. Everything's 2 minutes or less. Anything longer than that, and it's not going to get listened to. And it should have a really good pace to it too. It should just be boom, boom, in and out from one thing to the next. One of the things that you can get caught up, especially when you're doing the animation, is trying to fit all the stuff that you do on there. You know, and what you want to try and avoid is having voices that sound similar to other voices. In other words, what you want to do is highlight your range. You want to show what range you have. They'll fill in the rest. You don't need to put all the different voices that you can do or try and showcase yourself that way. That's not what it's about. It's basically showing about performance potential as well as range.